This was your idea, man.
This was my idea because I'm so passionate about food, right? Like as a good Spaniard, like food is priority in my life.
I
And
like that she's lying right at the beginning of this video.
why
Is
am I
that
lying?
because she's saying that this is passionate about food? Yes, it's true. But she's just passionate about proving how good Spanish food is to people that aren't.
Ya
I mean, that's
estamos.
pretty standard, I would say. You can't be Spanish unless you're proud of your food.
Right, and we're like
She's
ready to
proud
fight
of what
for
she
it.
does to people. She calls people projects.
Okay.
Yeah, so whenever somebody comes from another country, I assign a project number, and I see their evolution in likeness to Spanish food. So
I can be your project.
Oh,
I like
that's
Spanish
okay.
food, but I don't adore Spanish.
Ooh, this is a great start to the video. It's going so
we got the wrong guest.
This is why we're at a Mexican place.
This is why we
No,
choose
there are some
Mexican.
really good. There's some really good Spanish dishes, but I just miss like the salsa picante. And like, where's
Oh,
the
you're one of
sauce?
those.
Yeah, I'm like, give me every type of sauce you have, and I'll mix them all together. In Spanish food, it's like, okay, you need salt, and you get spice. You ask for salsa picante, and they bring you Tabasco.
Yes.
It's not even spicy.
Because we are not, because we believe that if you have good produce and good meats, you don't need sauces.
I don't really eat meat though, so that's like the biggest issue.
Hey.
Yeah, or bread.
This video is evolving to something else completely.
Hola, gracias.
All right, first meal.
So can you believe I don't like avocado?
Why did you order this if you don't like it?
Because
She chose this.
this video is set to fail. Because the only time that I will eat avocado is in guacamole.
Oh, okay, sorry. Oh my God.
Or so I want to tell myself.
Her whole thing is that obviously as Americans we have different relationships with food than you guys do.
Yeah.
And what I've noticed is that they really like to experience food more so than just eat it. I feel like we do use it for fuel for the most part.
I actually think that you guys don't have a place to hang out in the US. And I know I'm generalizing a lot, but if you think about it, for Spaniards, everything is a hangout experience.
Yeah.
Whether it's food, whether it's going to the park, whether it's like whatever it is, it's just to hang out. In the US, if you go to a restaurant, you have a time limit to be in the restaurant.
Oh my
You
God,
cannot
yeah.
be there for like 5 hours, so
come
you
in.
cannot hang out in a restaurant.
They're rushing you out of there the second you walk in.
Even I remember when we were living in New York, there was this place with desserts that I loved. And even there, you sit down for dessert.
Gracias. Of course, the two Americans get the sugary drinks, and the Spaniard gets the beer.
Let's go with the
2 p.m. on a
stereotypes. So we had this place that we will go for dessert, so I will have there my sweets or whatever. And even there, they had signs that said, you know, the consumption will last in the table for 30 minutes or something like that.
Really?
Yeah. And it was a Greek neighborhood, okay? So Greeks, just as the Spaniards, tend to like delay their time in restaurants. I think that they had it mostly because of them.
Is it like that in Alaska as well? Like,
Would they rush you? I feel like that's pretty general, like in all the United States, but probably not to like New York standards. I mean, in Alaska, there's a little bit of everything. There's a lot of fine dining, and then there's like Taco Bell and shit like that. So it's like you can find a little bit of everything. Yeah, there's a lot of people with a lot of money, so then like they don't want to rush you because then there's people with a lot of money and they want bigger tips, of course. So, like that's why waitress life can really be money making.
I feel like New York is definitely a different kind of beast. So
Yeah.
it's like I need the next paycheck, the customer coming in. And I told her this before that one of the big things was we don't necessarily have a place to hang out. But what we do is like we don't always order dessert as well after a meal. Like dessert is depending on where you are because it's expensive.
Yeah.
But also it's our way of like trying to stay longer. Like somebody ordered dessert, so that keeps us there. When I first came out here to Spain, and we went to Asturias with the family, and we was at the restaurant, and all of us was eating. Obviously, I finished my food first. But I'm American. I just rush my food down. It goes without saying. So
We were in the aperitivo, and he was already done.
I'm already done. I'm already done. So I'm finished. I know in my head the clock is going off. Like, okay, we gotta get out of here soon. So whenever the waitress was passing by, I start acting like I'm eating ice now, like to make it seem like I'm still eating something. I'm like, You guys need to hurry up. What are you doing?
That's true. I get stressed in restaurants even now.
Do you? Really? But you've
Yeah.
been here for 8 years, no?
Yeah.
And you still get.
Yeah. I get kind of stressed.
We are
You guys are traumatized.
traumatized. You don't understand how traumatized we are.
But I will say that like when my American friends come to visit who don't know Spanish culture very well, when they get like really impatient and like I get embarrassed. I get really embarrassed. And then it's like you have to explain it to them. But yeah, then you can really like I feel like I relive it again though in the United States. You're like, oh man, yeah, in the United States it's like if your waitress doesn't like show up immediately, like you're like, wow, she's like a bad waitress. I always tip well, even if it's not the greatest service in the United States. But here it's like whether you have an amazing waitress or like a bad one, like, you can't really. It doesn't really matter.
No, but I think that's one of the concepts that you, as Spanish people, don't seem to understand. Like, obviously, you guys get paid
You
well.
don't seem to understand.
You don't,
Thank you.
you don't understand.
Thank you por la hostia ahí bien dada en la cara.
Yeah. It's true because you don't have to deal with it. You don't. You see, this is the thing.
No, we don't.
You don't deal with it. You have no idea, like the process of service as a whole.
Yeah.
So the idea of someone being a bad waiter or waitress doesn't really exist for you guys. You're happy with the food, and you keep on going, and that's it. I think that's a cultural aspect for you. That okay, I know the server's gonna come. They're gonna bring my food. I'm gonna eat, and you bullshit a lot. So you're talking to everybody. So you don't care about it.
No, you even talk to the waiter and the waitress like that's a common thing, and you tell your whole life to the person that is bringing you the food, and it's
In the
okay.
United States.
Not here.
No, here.
Yeah.
You talk to the waitress here.
Yeah, sometimes we do, yeah.
That's the problem. Because this is the same thing I get upset about when I was in the supermarket, waiting 15 minutes while the person's talking to the cashier about their life story. I don't got time for that. I'm here to buy food.
It wasn't 15 minutes, no seas exagerado.
It was 15.
No seas exagerado. Vamos a
And the
ver.
same thing in the restaurants. Like, order your food and then let the person be so they can come take my order as well. Don't keep them there for like 20 minutes talking about, oh, would you believe this happened? Or would you believe that happened? Yeah, her baptism is next week, so no.
It's so funny because my dad's also from New York, and every time my dad's been to Spain like 10, 12 times, and every time he's here, he makes a comment about how he's just absolutely blown away by how patient Spanish people are. He's like, this would never happen in New York. He's like, if we were in New York, we'll be like running you over, people will be pushing you aside, people will be yelling at you. And so when I hear you talk, I'm like, yeah, I get it, because like my dad feels the same
Just like
way.
that.
And I feel like I'm pretty patient now. That was one thing I really worked on my whole life. I've been super, super impatient. So like, even before I came to Spain, I was like, man, I gotta be more patient, like actively. And then when I moved here, it was like, okay, well, it's like do or die, like
Yes.
I'm patient or not. But every once in a while, I'm like, okay, you're at work. Why are you chatting with your coworker when I'm standing here for 5 minutes? Or like they'll be with their phone. That's even worse. The worst is at the government office.
Oh my God.
Like, okay,
yeah.
man.
That's a whole another melon that we don't want to open right now.
Getting off track here.
But every time that I ask or somebody asks Bryan, what is it the thing that he misses the most about New York or the U.S. in general? He says Chinese food.
Oh,
Chinese
Like
food.
that's what he misses. Period.
better. Okay.
In general, but in food, like that's like the main thing, right? But in general, also it's
More than
Chinese
Mexican
food.
food.
So what is it that you miss the most?
Oh yeah, Mexican food.
Okay,
yeah.
so this is a little bit of polemica right here because neither Chinese or Mexican food are typical from the United
but they
States
are
per se.
typical.
Okay,
Because-
tell us more.
Because if you think about it, the United States is a land of immigrants. Everybody's an immigrant. My family's an immigrant. All the white people there are immigrants. All black people there are immigrants too.
Everyone is
Like real immigrants. Yeah. So, and the Mexican people are really the only indigenous.
Yes.
Chinese people, there's a ton of Chinese immigration. So,
Yeah.
I mean, Chinese food is just as much American as Mexican food is just as much American as.
And I think that that's something that we don't understand here in Spain, right? Because when we Spaniards travel to the U.S. for the first time, especially, we are like, okay, we're gonna go try this burger, this hot dog, this. Like, we don't go thinking, let's go try some Tex-Mex or some Mexican food, or like, that's not something that crosses our mind. But when talking with people from the U.S., that's the first thing that you guys say. Like, few people will say, I miss, I don't know, maybe barbecue, right?
Barbecue is definitely on the list, right after Chinese food for me.
Yeah, but again, it's like international food.
Yeah.
And it's not that Chinese food here is bad. It's just when you're used to a certain taste and a certain style of Chinese food, because I've had Chinese food in
¿Qué
Spain.
es pica de pollo?
Genial, gracias.
¿Desean las salsitas picantes?
Sí.
Por
So-
si no acaso, por estos dos.
Pues, since I've had Chinese food in obviously the U.S., Spain, Turkey, Serbia, like they all do different. Chinese food is different in every country. Obviously, the food is adjusted to the country it's in. Obviously, New York is the one that I'm familiar with that taste. They have specific meals that I can't find anywhere else, like boneless spare ribs. I cannot find that for the life of me.
Yeah.
I've been in all these other countries, have not found that. So Chinese food is always on the top list for me. Barbecue.
Las rojas de chile se pica más, esas de jalapeño un poquito más.
Okay, gracias.
So this is the only way you get spicy food here in Spain. You go to Mexican restaurant.
And let's
Yeah.
see, because you might try it and feel like this is a Spaniardized kind of sauce.
I've actually had these sauces before. They're good.
Yeah? Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, they're good.
Okay,
But it's
okay.
true that when you're in a restaurant in the United States or in Mexico, obviously, you have like a lot of different sauces.
Yes.
There's like 5 or 6
Yes.
sauces at least. But yeah, it's interesting what you're saying about the food gets adapted to the taste buds because like in general in the United States, most food I would say is adapted in a way where they add a little bit of fat, a little
Yes.
bit of sugar, a little bit of MSG if it's like something that you're buying from the store, so it's more like addictive.
Yeah.
But yeah, here in Spain maybe.
So when you think about like food, and this goes for both of you, like the behavior of eating food, to me, it's a little bit like damaging in the US because I feel like, first of all, you eat at any time of the day. Like you can wake up, no, espera. You can wake up at 11 o'clock in the morning and say, I feel like fried chicken. Let me go get some fried chicken. And it's okay.
Yeah,
We wouldn't do that here.
yeah, that's true.
So
What exactly wouldn't you do?
wake up at 11 in the morning and go to get fried chicken.
Hold on. Because you're saying we eat any time of the day.
You eat at any time of the
do
day.
you realize
At the
that
weird time.
What's a weird time?
I don't
It's called
know.
listening to your body. It's called intuitive eating.
Exactly. Thank you.
But that's my
Thank you.
point. But that's my point. I think that there is a damaging relationship right
How
there,
is it damaging?
where you
Wait, is it
let your
damaging?
instincts take you to eat at a
Oh,
specific
because
time.
because now we're animals. You calling Americans animals now?
I have not said that.
My thing is it bad because it's just like any time, any moment, or if it was scheduled, would that be better?
I think there should be a structured time.
Oh,
I
it-
think
it's-
Spanish people are way too strict about their eating times and their coffee times and what you can have at
Yes.
what moment because I've had so many conversations where like Spanish people or like my friends, like parents, more specifically, will be like, "Un café?
¿Estas horas?
And it's like,
No.
I am tired. Like I want a coffee.
I don't
No,
understand.
we don't
And,
do
like,
that.
I feel so judged. It's like my body is craving caffeine. I want a coffee. What's the problem?
How dare
That's the
y'all?
problem.
How dare y'all? How dare y'all judge about when we eat? When all you do is
You don't
eat
comment on
throughout the
people's
day.
bodies. You don't comment on people's
We're not commenting on bodies, just behaviors.
body positivity.
Do you realize they just do nothing but eat throughout the entire day? Desayunar, aperitivo, comida,
true. I've never thought about that.
cenar.
But it's a structure. It is a structure with
What you're
some
eating.
sort of food. Like, if you're having a sweet merienda, you're not gonna have a paella at 7 o'clock in the afternoon.
not?
Because, excuse me? Just kidding. Because it's unnatural.
How's
Why
it
is it unnatural? This is what I'm saying. You guys have.
Why
rules.
am I with
Why-
two Americans in a table?
You have to question the system. Why is it unnatural?
Because rice takes longer to process and digest. So at 7 o'clock, 2 hours before dinner time, you're not gonna eat something that
Listen,
heavy
Why couldn't that be your dinner?
because it's too early. I don't go to bed until midnight or 1 o'clock. If I eat dinner at 7 o'clock, then I'm gonna have to have a second dinner, which is not healthy.
Or a merienda, but after the dinner.
No, no, de merienda before dinner. Ya estamos. Si es que no puede ser.
Question, you say the rice because it's too much digestion. Are you going into your stomach to break it down yourself? Is that a task that you have to sit down and focus
No,
on?
it doesn't. So then you go to sleep with all that rice, and then that's not healthy because your stomach doesn't do the digestion properly.
I feel like if I eat really, really late. I eat dinner really late, Spanish time, and I go to sleep every night with a full stomach. Very full. Because I don't eat dinner until 10, 11.
So you still have, so this is another point that I have, you still have big dinners?
Yeah.
Like American big dinner style?
Like Spain style. I mean, for me, I don't eat that big of a quantity at a time usually, and because I eat all day. My breakfast, I eat standing up in my kitchen pretty much every day. My roommates are always like,
That's a big thing. Like they don't do eating on the go at all.
no. When I was a kid, I would sit on my counter in my kitchen. I would make a bagel with cream cheese before school. Sit on my counter in the kitchen, like next to the toaster, and eat my bagel.
You're giving a heart attack to some of our viewers. I want you to know.
Our viewers can feel the Americanness right now through the camera.
I can see the comments. This is the most American video that you have ever made.
I think the reason why that kind of mentality don't exist is because I'm trying to think of a food that you have here in Spain that is something that is even possible to eat on the go. Maybe croquetas, but
True.
I mean, we have the
I can't see
bocadillos.
somebody eating cotito on the go.
Yeah, that's true.
Which one?
Eating what?
Crotito on the go? No one can do that.
Americans would do it.
Yes.
My sister, me and my sister drove from the U.S. through Canada to Alaska, and every day my sister ate a bowl of cereal while driving. We were in a hurry. We didn't have much time. We had like 7 days to
I
cross.
think I need tequila. I don't need beer anymore. So we did RV in the U.S. and we went through different like 25 or 20 something states. And he would be like, why don't you go grab some sandwiches or do something and we eat as we drive? And I would look at him all offended. And I had already lived in the U.S. for like 10 years, so of course I knew the culture. But I would look at him like, I'm not eating in the car. What do you think I am? So we would stop
You
and
didn't eat in the car.
no,
Ever.
yo, no,
No.
yo, no.
Our first trip.
Without the tauro and Spanish.
Exactly. I have the two biggest virtues in this world.
Here I
Highway or the highway?
Exactly.
Here I am thinking, all right, we have to hurry up, so let's go, let's grab something, we can keep driving to eat. So, we're gonna stop and eat.
Do you ever snack in the car? Like on a road trip? Like chips or like candy? I don't know.
Chips, gusanitos.
Yeah.
Cosinitas, that's about it.
Okay.
Except for the time, a donut. That'd be like the biggest thing she'll eat.
Every
But
time.
even then, I wasn't driving. I had to pull over in the gas
But we
station.
also have to explain why. It's because we were driving from Turkey. And so the moment that we will cross the border into Spain, I will stop in the first gas station. I will go get a donut. Place donut
Yeah.
that we saw here.
Does it smell like home?
Smells like home. It smells like childhood. So I grew up eating this, and Lilas is always making fun of me because for breakfast in Spain we have donuts and coffee or cookies and coffee, and he doesn't know how we don't have more diabetes. This is not for you, it's for me. If you
Brings back memories?
you're a little fat.
Yes.
Because I miss them so much.
I know. The donuts are one of my favorite. I can't have gluten anymore. Like I'm gluten free. But man, I really miss donuts and like all the sweet stuff. And you went to the US grocery store and you have like 70 different types of donuts.
Oh my God, the aisles.
200 types of cereal. I miss like Golden Grams or whatever.
I could never stand that. It never grew up. You are the cereal guy.
But you guys in Spain have the weirdest thing where you take cookies and you just like smash them in a cup. And then
That's not weird. That's childhood memories.
Okay, well then what's the difference between that and cereal?
Yes.
It's
Besides
cookies.
cereals, yeah, but it's the same sugar.
Same sugar, all that. Yeah. What's the difference?
Only
They're
the
called
cereal is more
Maria.
convenient because you just pour it. It's already ready for you.
I'm sitting there watching, like, whenever we do have cereal, which is very rare, most times she do milk and cookies and throw it in there. If she does a regular cereal, like let's just say Cocoa Krispies or whatnot, she warms the milk.
Me gusta la leche caliente.
We had a German exchange student one time, and he would eat like the Frosted Flakes with orange juice.
I used to do that.
Oh, that's nasty.
Your sister doesn't.
My sister used to do
Oh,
that.
so it's in your family.
No, I don't do
That's not
zumo
very-
de naranja con nada. No,
I'm surprised you still talk to her.
I don't.
She's banned.
She's gone from the family.
You don't have the takeout culture. You don't do drive-throughs like that. Is drive-throughs like just
I
like,
can't even think. No, a lo mejor en algún McDonald's, en algún burger.
¿Dónde?
Hay,
Seen
a
it.
ver los
I've seen
silos.
it, but there's not. Yeah. I've seen it.
But we probably don't use them.
Probably don't.
Oh.
In the United States, we would go to the drive-thru in Taco Bell, get our food, eat it in the parking lot, and then be like, wait, we want more, and then go to the drive-thru again and eat it.
So thank you for saying that because I have a very good point for that.
Uh-oh.
When you guys in the US eat something that you like, you order more to take it home.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For example, you're in this Mexican restaurant and you taste the nachos or whatever and you like them. Before you go, you say, give me 2 orders of nachos to go.
That does happen. Yeah, that's true.
We wouldn't do that. Like, I wouldn't have croquetas in a place and said, qué croquetas más ricas, voy a llevarme 20 a casa.
Yeah. I don't think I really do that because in Alaska we have such a big driving culture that it's like you drive 20 minutes home and then if you want something you just drive another 20 minutes and then go get it again. But it's true that I would pick up.
But there's a reason for it though.
Okay, yeah.
Because think about it, I only can really use New York as my example right now, this one. But at the end of the day, you guys don't necessarily eat outside your vicinity.
Because we can walk to bars and restaurants.
Wherever it is, like, because, I mean, some people that work, you have the middle day break, so you might go back home and you can fill up on whatever you want to fill up. But I'm going to give you the average thing for a New Yorker. Our commute to work is about an hour or more, going from, like, let's say Brooklyn or Queens to go to the city and get to work. Whether you're driving or taking the train, it's that kind of hour commute. So when you are having something after you leave work or while you're at work, that's an hour-long way to go. Whereas here in Spain, you guys eat within your vicinity. Everywhere you go, whether you're going home, you'll go somewhere nearby home.
Yeah.
All your restaurants is where you go. You always buy friends and family, and you all go to the neighborhood spot, the cafe, the restaurantes, y todo. But you're not traveling that far to go eat. The only time you'll go
Yeah, that's
outside of
true.
that, let's say like, because we live in Park. The only time we'll go to the city center to go eat is if it's like an event or a big thing to go to.
Or we're meeting with a friend.
Exactly. I mean, with a friend. Those are the things, but normally you guys have in your vicinity, your restaurants that you go to like clockwork.
Yeah. But I feel like New York is kind of sort of that same thing because like you can walk to places even from work. Like I work in Manhattan, so like just coming out of work, I will have like 1,000 delis in the corner.
True.
Where I could eat. I don't know. But I feel like in the rest of the U.S., it's true that you don't walk out to your house and say, oh, voy al bar de la esquina.
I think too the difference in the U.S. and like Spain is like in Spain it's like you have very traditional food everywhere, and so like
Yes.
most restaurants have more or less the same food, like tortilla de patatas, pimientos de pájaro, I don't know, cocido in Madrid, for example. And in the United States, it's like this is my favorite Chinese restaurant, and I will only eat Chinese food at this restaurant. Or like these are my 3 favorite Mexican spots. I don't even want to try a new one because like I know these ones are good, and why would I pay $30 to like try something new when it might not
And be
good?
upset later.
Yeah, so I think too, it's like if you have a favorite restaurant, you have food you like in your area. In the United States, it's like, well, I know there's Chinese food in my neighborhood, but I haven't been there yet, and I might not like it, or it's not as I have been there and it wasn't as good. So it's like eating out is so expensive in the United States, even with like a higher salary, like
Yeah.
the comparison is more expensive. So
But also, is it a thing that you guys still will go to a restaurant that you don't like because they might have something?
Well, here's the thing. I feel like, and I don't want to
Here's
sound...
the thing.
here's the thing.
No quiero sonar prepotente ni muchísimo menos, pero los dos habéis salido a comer en bastantes sitios aquí en España.
Sí.
¿Habéis tenido muchas experiencias de decir, uy, qué mierda de restaurante?
Creo.
No.
O sea, de la
We
comida,
might,
no.
like, we might have a dish from an ex-restaurant that you're like, oh no, this is not good here, it's definitely better. But overall experience, I feel like it's really hard to say this restaurant is bad. Like overall, it's like horrible. It should be closed down. Like, so you take the risk because there is less risk here in Spain versus the U.S. Plus
I
the
see what you're
money
saying.
price is
Lower
obviously.
risk, higher reward. Yeah.
But that goes back to your point that what you find here in the city center, you can find relatively the same Spanish foods in your own neighborhood.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily that you're risking a lot, as you say, but if I have a taste for something specific, which I don't think you guys tie emotions to your food like that. So
Yeah.
if I have a taste for something very
Again,
specific,
you guys have a really bad relationship with food. You eat your feelings out.
It's true.
what's
Yeah.
wrong with that? We care. It does, if we eat emotionally, doesn't that mean
No es la culpa de la
doesn't
comida.
that mean we care more about food?
No, we do care about food. We just don't confuse our feelings with food. Like, you're gonna eat something that you like regardless. You don't have to go massive Hulk attack into food because you're sad or because you're
Why not?
because why would you?
Because food is comforting. It makes you feel good.
Here in Spain, you guys have tobacco and alcohol.
There you go.
We
Much healthier options.
we eat our feelings and you guys just smoke.
Smoke and drink it.
And drink it up. Okay, let's change the subject.
Sorry, the mole. I got 2 mole and 2 tinga de pollo.
I just don't want to eat yours
I
because
think those ones are. Did you get 1 tinga de pollo? Did you get a tinga de pollo? You did, I think.
yeah, I think
So
so.
it's that one, and then mole. That one's yours too. And then those 2 are yours. Your guys'.
I only had a chicken. That's all I had. I don't know which one is that.
I think it's that one. Because that's the chicken. And then you got one with cerdo.
Yes.
So, with that said, that brings us to the product of the week.
Estamos en el rey del taco y obviamente hay muchos tacos. Pero una de las razones por las cuales hemos venido aquí, obviamente, es porque les gusta la comida china y la comida mexicana y como yo era el decisive factor, then I said Mexican food it is. But I love this place because I read a lot of comments from Mexican visitors that say that if you want the taste of Mexico, this is a great place to have, like something to go. And then I was really surprised about all the chicken options because funny enough, a lot of Mexicans restaurants that are here in Madrid are like so focused on like the barbacoa, the pork, that like some of them didn't even have chicken options. And I was like, okay, we can do that. So this is what the reasons that I found this place. But it's very quaint, very tiny,
They have different locations too, right?
and they have like 7 different locations. And I figured that this was off the main street, so it will be a little bit quieter. It is.
Yeah.
I like it. The tacos are
Great
good. The
choice.
nachos are good.
Yeah.
The quesadillas are delicious.
Good
I
flavors.
haven't had Mexican food and
We don't even remember.
I don't remember. But this is a great filler for me right now. This erases all the years of non-Mexican food. So this is a win. Great choice, by the way. Great choice. Thank you for allowing us to record here and enjoy some good food.
Talking about the feelings and the stressful and everything else, another thing that I see a lot in the US is eating alone.
Oh yeah, I love eating alone. I prefer to eat alone. I get really awkward eating in front of people.
Well,
It's
thank
really
you.
awkward for me.
Thank you, Claire.
Whenever I record a video and I have to eat, I edit out the part where I'm actually eating. This is good for me. But I love eating alone, yeah. I love going out to eat alone too. Yeah.
It's nice to do that. It's like, it's relaxing. It's therapeutic.
Here I don't do it really though. I feel awkward.
But I'll tell you my experience. While living in New York, before I met him, I used to treat myself to nice dinners by myself. Because why not, right? I'm a strong, independent woman. Why wouldn't I? And so I will go to steakhouses because I had like a steak and wine or whatever, and people will look at me weird to the point that even when making the reservation,
Really?
can I have a reservation, a table for one? For one. And then when I will show up to the restaurant, just one? Yes, just one.
Really?
So
It's true.
my question is it because it was more of a fancy dinner and not a necessity meal?
I would say so, but I don't know.
But it's very common in the US to eat alone. Like if you're at work and you want to like grab something, you just go and eat alone. Even in New York, in the benches, you see people eating alone with their white boxes, and it's like,
If they're not
That's
eating
so
at
sad.
their desk while we're eating.
yeah, that was me.
The thing is, I'll
That
tell
was
you,
me.
there's 2 reasons why they will question you for that. One, you're not that expensive of a table.
True.
If it's just
Well,
one
they say
person,
dollar
know
sign.
that.
yeah, you're not as expensive as a table. So just one person, you're not about to have 2 meals or 3 plates. You're just gonna have one thing. 2, this is the bad part. You're a woman. Chances are you're not gonna eat that much.
Yeah.
They don't know.
That's so true. Because then they have to do all the calculations of who are they, who like which server are they going to give you? Because they try and give. I've worked as a server, maybe you don't have to, but you know they have to like make sure that everybody gets the same amount of tables to try and get the same amount of tips or like an equal amount more or less. So if they give you, then they're like, okay, shit. Well, I should probably give him someone else. I should give him the next customer too, because the other server already has a table, but it's a table of 4. So if there's another person that comes in that's 2, it's a 2 top. Then they'll give it to him again.
Or
So everything in the US equals money.
Exactly.
yes, that's the reason why it's very not necessarily frowned upon Is why it's like, you sure you're not waiting for somebody or trying to push you out right away?
Well, I know I'm not waiting for somebody.
Well, I mean, when you're there at the table by yourself, that's why they try to push you out with everything. Your meal will come the fastest. Your server is the fastest there is in the restaurant because they want you to hurry up and eat and get out. But to your point, yeah, you guys can't eat alone. It's for you,
Because
food,
it's a social event.
food is automatically. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Your relationship. You're questioning our relationship with food, but maybe you need to question yourselves, because you food for you guys. You don't even give the respect to food that you need to.
What do you mean?
Even I'm.
Because think about it. Think about it. You treat food like a side piece.
No, que lástima.
Food is like it's clicking me.
All right.
Food is like a side piece. All you care about is getting together to go and talk.
With good food.
No, yeah, everybody wants good food. Don't get me
I see
wrong.
what you're saying.
But it's all about whatever excuse. Y'all don't do takeout like that, right?
Gracias.
Y'all don't do takeout like that, right?
Mira cómo cambias la cara, ¿eh? Gracias.
So happy.
Y'all don't do takeout. In fact, I think you told me that even if you order food, you'll go pick it up. Is that right?
Yes. So
I would do
delivery
that
is
too.
like something new here, and I'm new, 10 years maybe. But I remember, up until today, like if you want a pizza, they even have better prices. If you look at I don't know, Carlos Pizzeria, and you pick up pizzas and you set to pick up, it's cheaper than if they deliver.
Of course. Yeah.
So why wouldn't we go? And do
Because
it?
you're home. What is
Yeah,
the point of ordering food? That's like half-assing the process. I'm ordering food just so I gotta still take my ass outside to go pick it up.
I'm with her on this one. When I order, even in the U.S., I never really order food, but if I ever did, I would always go pick it up.
I understand your point, but for them it's different. Like, don't let her fool you.
If you live in a big, what if you live in a big city? All you have to do is like drop down the stairs and you're
Yeah,
close.
that's true. That's true.
In the United States, you have to like get your car, you learn to
Yes.
drive. Like, I think in the United States it makes more sense to order it to your house. But then you also have to tip more because you have to tip your driver too. So it's way more expensive, everything.
But you see,
And what I've seen though in social media is that now you have to tip when you order something to go, like a take.
Oh, I've always done that. I've done that ever since I was
They're
like
not
16.
serving you. Why are you tipping?
we see, this is how they get you. You're falling for it right now. You're falling for this whole thing. It's not about because I thought that they'll order food like on the way home from work, they'll stop and pick it up. That makes sense to me. But to be home in my birthday suit, go order some food, and then like, oh, you know what? Let me go outside and go pick it up. I'm not trying to do that. I might answer the door in my birthday suit or just leave it there at the door.
Yeah.
But I know why now. See, I figured this out. I got y'all. I got it.
That's that
The
one.
reason why they order food and then we'll go pick it up is because they can't just have food by itself. There has to be a conversation. There has to be some social element to it. So they go, mine is, I'm gonna order food, I'm gonna go pick it up. The chances of me running outside into somebody I know in the street and having a conversation
Not
is like
better than-
it's like 99.9%. So they need that little interaction.
Actually,
because
I would only order food to my house to avoid socialization. Yeah, because some days I'm just like, I don't want to talk to anybody, not even like the person at the restaurant. Gracias.
that's the only reason why. It's psychological, but I'm here to figure it out. I'm getting to the bottom of this.
You are something else.
I am assimilating. That's what I am doing right now.
That's a good point though, because I feel like in Spain, I'll like go get a coffee just because I'm like, I want some social interaction. I don't actually care. Like I could just have a coffee at home. It's like, well, actually, I'd rather go out and get a coffee because I know that I'll talk to people, and then you have your like go-to places, so you make friends with the people that are there and see people you know. Yeah, that's true. It's like a whole other social element that like. Coming from Alaska, we don't really have that, right? 'Cause, like, even in Idaho, I live in Idaho too for school. It's like even there, it's like I would never go out to eat and like or like for a coffee to like socialize. It's like I'm going to a coffee shop because I need to study, because I need to work, and that's why I'm going to this coffee shop. Otherwise, I'll just like have a coffee at home, or I'll just go through a drive-through and get my coffee in the drive-through, and not like actually go inside.
You don't meet people if you go out there. That's another point.
There's the streets in the United States, besides in like New York and like Chicago, and like really big cities, they're empty.
Yeah.
Even Boise, which is
Yeah,
like a
I
city,
see that.
empty at all times of day.
Yeah, but if you go to a coffee shop, you don't talk to the person like next to your table or something like that.
Why would I do that?
Sometimes, I mean,
You gotta understand.
That face of danger.
like,
You gotta understand. There are very few chances where you have that opportunity, and depending on the state that you're in the U.S., You're not going to do that. It's frowned upon at times. Like in New York, it's frowned upon.
Yeah, but New York, because
if I was
people
talking
is
to
so
Sam
like
Grover-
individualist.
Yeah, in Alaska it's different. Alaska people
Yeah.
are super, super nice, super friendly.
It's like
you
that in
can
the
talk to
South. In the
everybody.
South, you can get along with anybody. You can talk to somebody on the other table when you're in the South.
Yeah.
But like North in New York,
Yeah, no, New York, no, because it's considered like you're interrupting my life. Yeah.
I was actually really surprised. I was just in New York like 6 months ago, and I was shocked by how friendly and nice all the New Yorkers were. I just had
I find them really nice. Like
Yeah.
I love living in New York, and I had the good side of New York. So
we're in New York.
in Brooklyn. But I was like walking down the street and like everybody's like, good morning, ma'am, good afternoon, ma'am, how's it going, ma'am, have a nice day. And I was like, wow, everyone's so polite. And so like, I love that about the United States. People are so friendly and warm. Here it's like if I say hi to someone on the street and I don't know them, I feel like they look at me like I'm like so weird or yeah.
Or that you don't exist sometimes.
Oh, for sure, or I ignore them.
We have a thing.
yes.
We have a thing that we
But
do.
I think that it happens to us for different reasons. But
Probably.
okay, yes.
We'll be walking by somebody and we'll be like, buenos dias. If they don't respond, we just be like, or no.
Oh, no, buenos días. No, malos días.
Depending on the day, sometimes it really makes you annoyed or you're just like, whatever.
We love to stare here in Spain. Like people in general stare a lot.
Yes.
So I have this rule that if somebody stares at me or us in the streets, whether because we're with our dogs or just by ourselves, I look at them and I say, "Hola, buenas, ¿qué tal?"
Yeah. But that's my normal.
Yeah.
I would say that to anybody no matter what if they stare. But you're saying that because you're...
Well, I will say that
Because you're trying to get them to like...
yeah, like if you're looking at me, at least say something. Like you know, like hello.
Exactly. No, I when people stare at me, especially like in the metro or in like an enclosed space, I just stare at them back until they look away.
That doesn't sound bad at all.
Well, I'm like, you're making me feel awkward, so I'm just
No,
gonna make you
absolutely,
feel awkward.
absolutely.
I don't want to talk to you because we're in this like metro.
I don't have a good awkward stare back.
You what?
I
Just
don't-
stare.
I don't have a good awkward stare back.
No.
You just have to stare. It's
The
awkward.
problem is when I stare, I look like angry black man, and that's the problem. So it doesn't come off as weird or making you feel awkward. It makes you feel threatened. I'm like, that's not what I'm going for.
Shit. There's a whole other layer there.
Yes. That's another
It
conversation.
happened today. I was
Really?
walking the dogs, and somebody was in their car just watching me, and so I just looked back at them.
With a German Shepherd and a freaking Kango that is bigger than the German Shepherd.
And then the guy went like that. And I'm like, oh, that's not what I want. I wanted to wear. I wanted to be creeped out, but not.
Oh, but I mean, I don't know. It serves them right. Just staring at you.
They deserve it.
I don't mind. Like at the end, they just. If you want to say something to me, you can always say something. I don't care. But just to be looking at me and it depends on how they're looking at. Like I don't belong here or something.
Yeah.
That's the part that bothers me. But for the most part, I know it's always out of curiosity. Where you from? What you're doing?
Sure.
And I always know it's coming from a genuinely nice place. But obviously, you can feel it when someone's like upset and like low.
The energy is
Yeah.
strong.
You don't deserve to leave.
What is this man doing in Parla? It's like not even Madrid city center.
How do you feel about eating overnight though? Like late night snacks? Is that like a specific things for you? Or is that frowned upon too because that's not at the normal times of eating?
No, I think that if you eat some, like,
I'm sorry, weird times. That's what you categorize like weird times, right?
the whole thing about having
Unholy.
dinner late is that then you don't have the feel of being hungry.
That's not true.
But if you do, I don't know, something light like popcorn maybe because you're watching a movie, or maybe some ice cream or
You guys love yogurt.
or
I eat
yogurt.
yogurt at the weirdest times. Like, you want a yogurt for dessert? Or you want an apple for dessert? I'm like, maybe an apple with some peanut butter and like a date and
Peanut
salt
butter.
and like bacon.
What is that face?
I eat
Peanut
peanut butter
butter.
every single day of my life.
Really?
Not even exaggerating. That's
I
one food
cannot
couldn't
with
live
the smell.
Well,
Like,
peanut butter you can't live without it?
No.
As a kid, I could not stand peanut butter.
Really? That's so un-American.
Yeah. Then when,
For
then when I turned into a teenager, I couldn't stop eating peanut butter.
Yeah.
Now I've ate peanut butter so much that I just can't. I can't have it.
Sick of it.
I
I'm
can't.
kind of hoping that day would happen. I wish that would have happened to me by now because I'm so addicted to it, but I eat it every single day in smoothies.
and now you can find peanut butter here in Spain, but before when I was growing up, like we didn't even have it, like it didn't exist.
And the peanut butter you have here is mani. It's from
Sí,
Latin
sí.
America. It's not even from Spain.
No.
Because Spanish people don't eat it.
No, we don't.